So I haven't done a state of the collection video yet for the end of the year, and one last twist in the tail is that unfortunately I've had to sell, well, not had to, but I've sold the Black Bay 58, a watch I never intended to sell, and to be honest with you, I'm already regretting, but it has sold. A very, very simple reason for selling it. Anyone who watches the channel, it's called Wheels and Watches, and there's been a lot of watches and not much wheels recently. So I have recently put down a deposit for a new car, and I'll be picking that up in a couple of weeks, and then obviously updating the channel with the progress of the new car, and I'm following that journey for a bit. And I put a budget aside, and as always, you put a budget aside and then things escalate, just like when I bought this watch. And as things escalated, I promised my wife I wouldn't eat any more into the savings than I had from the original budget. So money had to come from elsewhere. Looking at my collection, this is the latest edition, and at the moment it's probably my favourite watch. It's also a blue dial. I can't and would never sell my Omega Seamaster Aquaterra. It's got way too much sentimental value to me, and it's just a fantastic watch. So unfortunately, 2 blue dials. This is basically almost exactly the extra I had to spend to get the car I want. So unfortunately it has to go. Will I be buying another one? Yes, I will. I absolutely will. I mean, listen to this. It's been an absolute pleasure to own the extra indent at 12 o'clock. With playing around with the timing, I've got it to plus 0.2 seconds a day. It's super comfortable. I've got the extra hole fitted to the clasp. The only negative is it doesn't have that T-fit clasp, and that wasn't around when this was developed. So what I will be doing is waiting for a steel 58 to come out with the T-fit clasp, and then I'll buy this watch. And if it's not on this watch, I'll buy a T-fit clasp and have it fitted to it. This is an incredible everyday watch, 72-hour power reserve, supremely accurate, no date, which will annoy some people. Personally, I actually prefer a date, but the aesthetic of this compared to a date is lovely. The winding action, the crowned action is lovely. The bezel action is fantastic. A lot of people don't like the snowflake hands. I think they're brilliant. I love the color. I genuinely think this is going to age better than the original 58, and just because it is white and blue, it's such a clean, crisp aesthetic. If the faux loom, kind of faux patinery stuff dies, which it will, it's a trend, I think this will come out on top. I think this is going to be the more desirable watch in the longer term. It has everything going for it. A fantastic lug width, a supremely light and comfortable watch, a very durable, robust watch, a thin watch, and a very well made watch with a great movement. I'm gutted to be selling it, but I do know in 18 months or so, for my 40th, I'll be buying another watch. So I'll be back up to 3 nice watches plus my G-Shock in a year and a half. So that kind of made it an easier decision. Often when you sell these watches, it's very difficult to find the money to buy another and convince your wife or your partner or whatever it is that it's okay to spend that kind of money. You know, it's difficult to go up to someone and I'm just going to spend another $3,000 or another $4,000 on a watch, you know. So yeah, it's one of the things that has eased the pain is obviously the car I'm going to be getting, which I'm super excited about. It's been 4 years since I sold my Lotus, and I'm just desperate to get back into a car. I was expecting to be in a nice car again in March this year, and I wasn't expecting to be in one now until March next year, but the right car came up. I'll talk about it more in another video. I'm collecting that on the 18th. So I'm just super excited to be able to do that. And unfortunately, to enable that to happen, this has to go. As I say, the fact that I'm getting a car finally, and also the fact that I know I'm getting a watch in another 18 months, made it an easier decision. But I'm not buying this watch in 18 months, and I can 100% see me adding this watch to my collection again. It's an absolute belter. So if you are on the fence or thinking about it, just go for it. It was one I intended to keep forever. And if I'd found a car at the right price, it wouldn't be going anywhere. But I didn't. So yeah, that's the end of the 58 for the moment. I will do a state of the collection, which will be very brief. Outgoings and incomings, but until then, cheers.